Hello and welcome to race 13 Zandvoort here in Holland. Let's get on with the race.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and Zandvoort, 25 miles away from Amsterdam and the host for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lee lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Lewis Hamilton and Norris, Verstappen, Perez, Rosberg and Carlos Sainz, Ricciardo, Gasly, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Russell, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi and Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Alesi, Mazepin and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right. Let's get this race started. Let's go into the formation lap.
Okay, go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs.
And I lose the back end. That's really bad, that is. I have a topic for the race today, so once I start the race I can talk about the topic that's in mind. It's going to be an interesting couple of laps once I start the race.
Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
Tyres are all in the temperature now. Right. Oh, it's already took over.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Bit of wheel spin. A lot of wheel spin from me.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
Fewer updates.
Repeat that. There's interference.
Fewer updates.
Understood. Copy that.
Oh, side pod damage. Bloody hell, Leclerc. Side pod damage is not what I wanted, and I hit the grass. That's not good. That was stupid. Right. The back end of slides. That could be from the side pod damage. That is frustration at its best. Right. Nope. Again, the back end wants to slide. I don't understand it. Try and slow down so I can take the corners.
Check your...
And then Bottas cuts across me. Right. Again, this time I got floor damage. And he's literally spinning me round. This is a ridiculous race so far. Right. Now. I'll start talking about the topic in a second. I just want to make sure I've got a big enough lead. Two people I'm going to talk about in this topic. And two people do the same profession. Different companies. Now some people might know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to talk about John Moxley.
The energy store is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Why did it happen? See again, the back end wants to slide. This is ridiculous. Right. Yeah, like I was going to say, John Moxley and Jeff Hardy. Right, John Moxley's gone to rehab with AEW. And he's doing okay, apparently, what his wife said on Twitter. So I watched the Wrestling Hub and WrestleMania. So them are the two YouTube channels I watch about all the wrestling news and updates. Jeff Hardy last week was at a house show. He was participating halfway through a match and he tagged out and went through the crowd, got sent home, and literally 24 hours ago he gets released by WWE because he refuses to go to rehab. Now, everybody's turned around and said that once Jeff's contract with WWE was over, everyone could see him going to do AEW to wrestle with his brother Matt. Now, if Jeff goes to rehab and gets himself sober, gets himself the help, like John Moxley, Matt and Jeff will be in AEW in about a year's time, and the Hardy Boys will be reunited.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
They'll be reunited on AEW, and there will be AEW Tag Team Champions.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
And they will have a good stint in AEW. Tony Khan knows how to book champions. Pardon me. So yeah. So I can see the Hardy Boys being together in about a year's time on AEW. If Jeff gets himself the help that he needs. And it's a very big stint going into rehab. I've never done rehab, but I know people who have, and you know it's going cold turkey off the beer and so forth, or drugs. for rehab as well. But I think Jeff refused the help because he knew for a fact that he was a mid-card wrestler. Wasn't going to win very many belts, and of course his stint in WWE.
The energy store is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
While he was with WWE, he was a mid-carder, kept losing matches, bringing the new guys over, and Jeff's win ratio was very low. And I think he knew that, and I think that's why he went to the drink, because he knew for a fact that WWE wasn't booking him right, and so forth. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Like I said, that's my opinion. And of course, when you're depressed and so forth, some people do turn to drink, like I've said about my demons and my past. I admitted on Formula 1 about 2 races ago, and yeah, I can see why it happens. But like I say, I think Matt and Jeff will be back together, tag team champions in AEW 2023-2024. Because he'll have a 6-month period where we can't wrestle.
The bodywork's taken a few scrapes. Try not to make it any worse.
Or it'll be a 90-day release clause, but
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
he literally terminated his contract from yesterday, so if they terminate the contract, he can wrestle within 8 days, I think. Because the wrestling clauses, once you've been released, that's it. But because he was gross misconduct and let go through drink, and he's battling his demons again, I think he will wrestle a lot quicker and a lot better. So yeah, that's what I can see happening with Jeff. John Moxley will be back, and I think he'll have a good stint. There's a lot of wrestlers who end up having medication because of pain, because of an injury, and of course they get addicted to painkillers. But some people swap painkillers for alcohol to because it just numbs the pain. It's like what people say when you pissed up, you fall over or you break a bone, you don't feel it until the next day. And I think that's what John was trying to do in the wrestling with AEW. I think he knew his body was hurting in areas.
You'll be on the mediums.
I think his body was hurting in areas, and of course a bit of a drink here and a bit of drink there, numb the pain, get through the match. And of course, as the match goes on and there's more matches you're doing, the more you're drinking to cope with that pain. And it's not a painkiller of a sort, but some people think like that. So hopefully he'll be back, bouncing back strong. I know Tony Khan's looking forward to getting John Moxley back, because John Moxley, as you know, is a big name, and he can pull in the crowd. So, like I said, I can't see him being from the sidelines too much longer. Couple of months, probably April, May next year, we'll be back with AEW hopefully, fighting. So, yeah. But like I say, that's my sort of intake on today and yesterday's news that I found out.
The side pods have taken damage. Keep an eye on your engine temperature. Cooling may be adversely affected.
And like I said, that's the topic I wanted to talk about, because it's, like I say, it's close to home, that one is.
We're leading our teammate by 6.8 seconds.
But Jeff's been in the news a lot more now than John Moxley has, because Jeff's been DUI'd a couple of times while he was in and out of the wrestling company over the last couple of years. And what I say, a couple of years, about 10 years. And yeah, it doesn't help. There's a lot. It's like the Uso though. I think it was Jey Uso. He got done for DUI because he was working with Roman Reigns. He had no punishment. And wrestlers who've had DUIs used to get canned, sacked from the company, couple of years away, come back, forget about the DUI. But I don't understand why the Uso don't get done. Like Vince McMahon just take care sort of thing. I think it's because he's younger and he's got many mistakes he can learn from. And I think, you know, a slap on the wrist by McMahon and, you know, he's brushed under the carpet until the next one. But even Roman Reigns was a bit disappointed out with the Uso. So I think...
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
So I think that's probably why as well. That's why he got a slap on the wrist, because Roman Reigns probably had a good talk to him. Talk about Roman Reigns actually on this subject. They want him to be a bit like how Brock Lesnar was.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
A bit of a tank. Basically keep the belts till whenever and then drop it to somebody else. I know January 1st, I think it is, pardon me, or in the first pay-per-view at January is going to be called Day One. And it sounds like a right, I'm going to say it as it is, a shit name for a pay-per-view Day One. And they want that every year in January. Now, the first January pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. Build up to Mania. But Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar might be fighting Day One. So they can have that build up to Mania, because I don't think The Rock and Reigns is going to happen with The Rock's or Dwayne's movie listing. So that's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, it's going to be funny. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I could think about and talk about with the wrestling.
Stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
It's like they said, Ric Flair says he's got one more match in him. 70 odd years of age. I think Flair should just leave it as it is, and he should be a manager or helping young talent to become the next big thing. Because it would be cool to see Ric Flair as a coach. You know, he's got what, 40 odd years, 50 years of wrestling know-how. It's like Hulk Hogan. He could be a trainer, because he's got 40 odd years of experience. And I'd like to see some of these old wrestlers do what Billy Gunn's doing and train wrestlers. I know Shawn Michaels, he was helping Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan as people know him, in the WWE. That was the protege.
Nico has come into the pits. He's in the pit lane now.
That was the protege of Shawn Michaels, was Bryan Danielson. So yeah, it's nice to see wrestlers actually do that. But it's just weird that wrestlers, you know, who think will be great managers, don't become managers or trainers. And it's like the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon. I know Devon had a creative role in WWE, while Bubba Ray, he carried on doing his own individual thing. But I think Bubba Ray, though, he'd be another good trainer. You know, showing people how to fall through tables properly. You know, executing table finishes. Because that's what the Dudley Boys are famous for, really, with Edge and Christian. Even with the Hardys was the TLC matches, table ladders and chairs, table matches, Extreme Rules matches. They were bloody brilliant. Executed high dive moves. That's what made the Attitude Era really good. You know, because you had The Rock and Austin and Stone. You know, you had Michaels, you had Jericho, you had Triple H, Taker, Kane. You know, you Mark Henry, Kurt Angle. You know, the good stuff. And it'd be really good to see what actually happens with some of the old school wrestlers. It's like Sting at the moment. I think he's trying to wrestle for AEW at the, in this current state of his. Because I know he got hurt in WWE.
Gap to teammate behind is 9.8 seconds.
WWE didn't book Sting properly. And when Sting did have a match, I think he got injured a little bit. I'm not sure if it was his back or neck area. I'd have to look that up. But Sting was unfit to wrestle. Now in AEW, Sting is actually 60 years of age. And he's still showing he's still got it. I know Chris Jericho's away from AEW at the moment because he's over here in the UK and Ireland doing his tour with his band. So he knows that when he goes back to AEW, he'll get a big warm reception, but a lot of people won't see him or even know that he's disappeared for the moment while he's on tour. So yeah. But I'd like to see Stone Cold though, or Steve Austin as we call him. I'd like to see him train some young wrestlers as well. Because that's what WWE need really. Not NXT. They need to put SmackDown and Raw as one show, like they did in the 2000s. And literally make it brilliant, because it's terrible having two shows. It's been bad because there's an old saying, SmackDown makes them, Raw poaches them. And then when Raw do poach these wrestlers, they don't book them properly. And that's what's happening with WWE. But AEW, they seem to have a major roster, and yet they sort of know how to book matches. Okay, some matches aren't brilliant, but they are entertaining. A lot more entertaining than WWE. And like I say, I haven't watched WWE for since 2005. But I play the video games just to keep me up to date with the rosters. And yeah, Paige has been released as well by WWE. And she was one of my favourite women wrestlers. So I don't know if she's going to go to AEW and change her name to her real name, or keep it as Paige. So yeah, that was a shock really, because she was going to come back from a neck injury. She was thinking about coming back into the ring. She was teasing her return, and WWE released her. I know that they're sacking wrestlers over the age of 30 because they want up and coming stars, and I think
There's 5
WWE,
laps of fuel remaining.
as of yesterday, have signed, I believe, 17 young people, all college and amateur wrestlers and college graduates
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
who've got wrestling background or athletic background, and that's good that they want to bring in the youth, but they're getting rid of the old. The old is what could teach the youngsters how to wrestle, and that is really poor management by WWE. Pardon me. So I don't know, food for thought really on that. But like I say, I am looking forward though to the AEW game. Pardon me. WWE 2K22 as well hasn't been released yet because of all the roster changes. And like I say, sacking a few more wrestlers. 2K are on the brink of probably not renewing with WWE next year. Because over the last 18 months, like I said, they've sacked over 100 personnel. That includes over 100 wrestlers and about 50 to 60 backroom staff. And it's not good. And like I say, that's why I've not brought any of the new WWE games, 21 and 22, because I still prefer WWE 2K20. Still got a big roster. Okay, they've got a couple of fake wrestlers in there as well, like Brooklyn Von Braun and that, but you know, it's okay to tell a story.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
For the storytelling aspect. But I don't know. 2K20 just seems to be the best WWE game, like I say, since 15, and SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain on PS2. Literally, them are the best 4 WWE games I've ever played. Apart from SmackDown 1 and 2, of course, on PS1, but you know, that was just mediocre graphics. But with Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain, the gameplay was a lot better. You know, you had the intros, walk down to the ramp. You know, looked like the dog's bollocks back then. And apparently the AEW game, the AEW game is going to be a bit like.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
A bit like Here Comes Pain and Shut Your Mouth. So you know what I mean. It's going to be mediocre graphics, but a massive roster. And that's one game I am looking forward to getting. So that game will be played religiously on my channel when it gets released. So WWE then will be non-existent unless they do something dramatically and say bring out WWE Legends 2 or remaster Legends and have a lot more legendary wrestlers in there, because the roster for the me is non-existent now on WWE. They bring back Goldberg every couple of matches. They bring back Brock Lesnar for a couple of matches. Taker's on about coming back out of retirement. So I don't know. It's just, it's an hard one to call for WWE. So like I say, that's my that's all my thoughts on it. So for the next lap and a bit now, I ain't got a clue what to talk about. It's like I say, I prefer to have people in the comments drop some sort of conversation starter so I could feed off it, or give me a topic to talk about so I can again have my thoughts on whatever it is. The only thing I don't talk about is religion and
Check
politics.
your MFD for a new strategy option.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't talk about is religion and politics, because that is a whole kettle of fish in its own way. So yeah. So yeah. I am struggling now though, because engine wear is actually kicking in because of the damage on the side pods. It's affecting the handling a little bit. I think that's why the back end wants to step. Pardon me.
This is your final lap of the race.
Right, Vettel's on hards and he's near enough quicker than me.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
1 lap of fuel remaining, I'm on the last lap. Sorted, Jeff, sorted.
You're dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second.
Vettel wants to hit me. Goes for a move that should not be attempted. I think the damage, I think Vettel's got damage since he hit me. I think he may have lost a little bit of a side plate, end plate on the wing. So that's just giving me a breathing space to Hamilton. So that's really good. Right. Just gotta ease. Hamilton's taking Vettel, but Hamilton can't catch me because there's a 2-second gap. So a win is a win regardless, even though I should have been out the race a couple of times.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
A difficult race then on a circuit that demands complete concentration, but they've persevered to take the win here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today. So let's review the updated drivers' standings. Lee increases their championship lead. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. It's looking like a winner has emerged. We all underestimated you, didn't we? How do you think this team... Appreciate your time.
Oh god, I got a failure. Right. Renew the sponsors. R&D. I didn't want to spend any if I could help it, but I got no choice. I got to do the upgrade. That goes on anything else that failed. Couldn't see anything else. So let's have a quick look. No, nothing on that one. Cockpit weight reduction, you know, I'll take that for 600. Because I can gain them 600 back anyway. And then I can't do anything else, can I? No, I have to just renew that one. Okay, so I've still got plenty on R&D points saved. Facilities. I've got 9 mil. Can I do anything at all? That'll take 8. That'll also take 8.5. Sponsorship, I haven't got enough for that. I've got enough for that though. Pardon me, I could add next season. Right, let's put these. Let's put the livery. Let's put the sponsors back on. Right, that's that one. That one. Right, let's do this. Let's put Polar. Let's put that one. Let's put Polar there. Put that one there. Let's put Polar on there. Right, that's okay. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, as you can tell, I've got the Stag. If I go back into here, the badge, you can see I've got the Stag. Basically, that's the closest one I can get to the Rich Energy logo because of the antlers. Oh gosh. So yeah, I am not going to go into too much detail with that. No, them are okay. Right, on advanced time. Right, I'm going to
I know
say.
we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell a team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Right, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell for notifications as I do daily uploads. And until next one, I'll see you all later. Bye.